It is a Sunday afternoon. It is the middle part of a 10-game homestand. They played 5. They have 5 games to go on this homestand. And today's a wrap-up to a 3-game series between the Astros and the Oakland A's. A lot of little leaguers on the field before this game. As the Astros earn first place in the AL West by a game and a half over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They are 18-10. The A's come in with a record of 14-13 on the season. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us on this Sunday afternoon for another day of Astros baseball. And Blummer, will be nice to get a series win at home. It hasn't happened in a little while.
It hasn't happened in a little while. It's even better when you go out there and play against the West. But this is a team the Astros should go out and take the series from.
The reason they're poised to take a series victory, Lance McCullers.
Lance McCullers, and we talked so much about this starting rotation. And a couple of starts ago, Lance found a little bit of a hiccup in Minnesota. But since then, he has been extremely well. 7 shutout innings last night. He did a great job, and it was interesting to watch him go out there and pitch. He was actually heavy on the fastball. Jeff Bagwell talked about the fastball being a great pitch for Lance McCullers because he creates so much movement at such a high velocity and does a great job of setting up that curveball. 41 fastballs, 37 breaking balls, 20 changeups, so a great 3-pitch mix led to that shutout 7 innings from Lance McCullers.
2 hits, no walks, and those 7 strikeouts. He indeed was our power player of the game, presented by TXU. But there were some other power players on the offensive end.
And this is what we want to see from these guys. They've gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, especially here at home, but the thunder came last night in the form of those home runs. It was Derek Fisher, it was George Springer, it was back-to-back with Jose Altuve jumping in on the mix. Marwin Gonzalez added a little bit of thump too, but these guys need to start backing up these phenomenal pitching performances we saw. And 11 runs last night really announced their presence.
Big win for the Astros. They had struggled recently against the A's, but last night a resounding victory. And today they go for the series win with Garrett Cole on the mound against Trevor Cahill.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Garrett Cole has been phenomenal in his first 5 starts for the Houston Astros, going 7 innings in every start. Trevor Cahill's an interesting case just because the matchups. He is tough against left-handers, therefore there's a ton of right-handed hitters in that lineup for A.J. Hinch.
When we come back, it is Sunday Baseball Basics Day. We will talk a little bit about outfield defense today. That's our theme, and Julia Morales revisits a great play George Springer made 3 seasons ago.
you learn some of the basics of the game today. The boys in the booth will be explaining some things. And George Springer can play one heck of an outfield. He's a great defensive player. That is where our focus is today, outfield defense. He has made some phenomenal catches over the last few years as a Houston Astro, including one against the Texas Rangers back on April 12th in 2015, robbing a grand slam with a great catch over the wall. It's one of our favorite catches. It's not the only one. He's made a lot. There's a lot of what not to do when it comes to outfield defense too. Myself, Jeff Blum, spent some time with George on how to make the catch or how not to.
I have to look for a ball. Oh my God, where's the ball?
You didn't really get that high. There's no chance.
You're get your glove above.
Yeah, like the glove's got to get up there.
Are we robbing a double? And then ready?
They're so mean to me.
He got up.
That's how it's done.
Running start.
That's 4 runs and a loss.
Yeah.
And we don't get into the playoffs.
Are you saying I'm not going to make the team?
Wild card.
You blew it.
Oh my gosh.
You blew it all the way in April. You didn't even know it.
You go off both feet like that?
I don't know how you do it. You just got to do it.
Hold on. You played volleyball.
Yeah. But we...
You played volleyball?
Do that. Do that.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, we got there.
The top of the glove got it. The ball went in. There it is. That was amazing. I like the scream at that.
I'd like to say that I've improved over the years, but I pretty much retired altogether on that day. We did have some fun with George, and it has been fun to watch George roam the outfield wherever he's playing. There's usually a big play to be made. Coming up, the boys in the booth will break down today's starter. It's the right-hander Garrett Cole going out for another win today.
Go, where you'll save even more when you buy the whole room and delivery is fast and easy. Minute Maid Park, roof is closed on this Sunday afternoon. Going to get a little warmer as the day progresses, so the roof is closed. We had a pleasant weekend. And the Astros winning last night 11-0 after a loss 8-1 to start this series. Garrett Cole on a bad toss from Alex Bregman is ready to go on this Sunday.
Wow, it's one way to make sure he's loose. But he's been dominant here in an Astros uniform. 5 starts, 35 innings, and that translates, if you can do math at home, do 7 innings a start exactly for Garrett Cole. and 2 runs or less in all of those starts. He has gotten off to a phenomenal start. We'll dig deeper into his numbers. He's leading the American League in strikeouts, beating out some guy named Justin Verlander.
We're underway as the Astros and the A's play the rubber game of this 3-game series, with Matt Joyce taking a pitch outside for ball 1. 2 lopsided games so far, 8-1 and 11-0. So the Astros had won 19 of 21 against the A's. They came back with a 6-game winning streak against Houston and had outscored the Astros 52-18 during that streak. And last night things turned around in a big way. Cole catches the corner on the 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1. .96 swing and a miss. And a full count to the first batter Garrett Cole faces this day. Last night started another stellar one for the Astros. Cole started the first game of this homestand, and the Astros starters have taken a perfect game into the 5th inning in 4 of the 5 games, including Cole in that start against the Angels on Monday. Swing and a miss. He gets Matt Joyce to start this one. Here's how the A's will line things up for Bob Melvin in the series finale. Matt Joyce in left field. Marcus Semien is the shortstop batting second. Jed Lowry, the former Astro, having a great start to the season. Chris Davis DHing. Matt Olson at first base. Matt Chapman at third. Stephen Piscotty in right. Chad Pinder is in center field. And the catcher today, batting ninth, Jonathan Lucroy. Marcus Semien swings and misses. Cole has not faced the A's since all the way back in the 2013 season. So the guys that have at bats against Garrett Cole in the A's lineup are guys that faced him as National Leaguers. Matt Joyce has never faced him. Marcus Semien has never faced him. Nice breaking ball, drops in there, 1-2. Cole, with those 49 strikeouts that Blummer mentioned in his first 5 starts, is in elite company. First 5 starts with a team, tied for the 5th most strikeouts ever. A guy named Nolan Ryan struck out 49 in his first 5 starts with the Rangers. Marwin Gonzalez playing second base today, with Jose Altuve having the day as the designated hitter. Makes a fine defensive play in his first attempt. Starting defense presented by Xfinity. We saw Marwin already make that play. He's on the right side with Yuli Gurriel, Carlos Correa, and Alex Bregman, the rest of your infield. In the outfield, Josh Reddick in left, Jake Marisnick in center field, George Springer in right. And today is our baseball basics, teaching you how to play the game in the outfield defensively. We'll focus in on some of those George Springer and Jake Marisnick plays through the years, and Reddick as well. Max Stassi behind the plate.
Yeah, we really appreciate A.J. Hinch doing us the favor of putting the 3 best outfielders on the team out there.
He went with the Cupid Shuffle right out of the gates.
The Fortnite flip?
Oh, we're switching it to the Fortnite flop.
Flop? Yeah, flip.
You like flip better?
We'll figure it out. Flop has negative connotation.
Okay, Fortnite
so
flip. Okay. It is the Fortnite flip from now on. I have to remember that. 1-1 to count to Jed Lowry.
Yeah, but those guys are great in the outfield.
1-2. Another good crowd. We had a sellout last night. 32,600 the night before. Astros fans continue to flock to see the world champion, defending world champion Astros this season. I imagine those Yankees crowds will be rather large coming up for the next 4 days as well.
There's got to be a special cup of coffee when you're going out there facing a Garrett Cole or a Justin Verlander on these day games. Last pitch at 98 miles an hour. 1:15 in the afternoon.
Yeah, even though the game started an hour earlier last night, it was a rather lengthy game. Lowry got most of the night off. He was the one guy that got taken out early, but for a lot of these guys, it's a quick turnaround. Lance was absolutely brilliant last night. 5 perfect innings, a couple of base hits in the 6th, got out of it with a double play, and did not walk a batter in 7 innings. Lowry stays alive. AJ was asked about Lowry before the game, said he was real happy for Jed. He felt like Jed's always been a guy that's been a little bit underappreciated throughout his career. He's right up there amongst all the league leaders. He and Didi Gregorius, maybe the 2 best in the month of April.
Wasn't Jed an RBI away from tying a franchise record for RBIs with Reggie Jackson of all people?
Yeah, he's right there amongst the best in Oakland history for the first month. And Marwin makes a nice play, and Garrett does the rest with 2 strikeouts. Spot. He's DHing today. Carlos Correa riding a hitting streak, a 12-gamer, hits 3rd. Yuli Gurriel hitting in some tough luck lately. Bats cleanup. Josh Reddick hits 5th. Alex Bregman coming off reaching base 4 times. He is hitting 6th. Marwin Gonzalez hits 7th. Max Stassi behind the plate. Jake Marisnick in center.
Trevor Cahill, right-hander, going for the Oakland A's. Started out his career as an Oakland A's, as an Oakland Athletic before being traded on. Actually, ex-teammate of mine back in Arizona. Has a very good 2-seam fastball. A couple other secondary pitches. Only 2 starts. He started the season in Nashville, AAA for the Oakland A's.
You took one of my questions. I was going to ask you if you guys were teammates.
Yep. Briefly. We were teammates in the sense that he was on the Diamondbacks and I was on the disabled list.
Well, he's back with the Oakland A's now. Spent some time with a variety of different teams. But in the bullpen recently with the Cubs, and then last year splitting time between the Royals and the Padres. He was a starter with the Padres and out of the bullpen with the Royals. And back with the A's after beginning his career there. Swing and a miss, and Cahill on 3 pitches strikes out George Springer to start this game. The Shiner Box spotlight falls on today's designated hitter, Jose Altuve.
He's pretty good. 26 career 4-hit game last night as the fans rise to their feet with Altuve coming to the dish. It's good to see him getting back in the groove. It's also good to see a little bit of that home run pop coming back. We know that they come in bunches for Jose Altuve, and he is feeling pretty good right now.
only did he have a 4-hit game and matched Jeff Bagwell on the all-time career list, only trailing now Craig Biggio with 26 all-time, but he also moved all the way to the top of the hits list in the American League.
Shocker.
Trying to win a 5th consecutive leader in hits in the American League, and last year he became the first guy ever to lead either the National League or the American League outright in hits for 4 straight years. Jed Lowry and Manny Machado have 38 hits. Jose up to 39 now. Towards the left side where Semien has it. His throw just beats the speedy Jose Altuve for the second half.
Semien is not known for his defensive prowess, but he makes a great play right here, ranging to his left and actually forcing that ball to be on his glove side as he comes up and throws. Good stretch from Matt Olson at first base on our Mattress Firm Supermo camera, seeing that the baseball just beats a hustling Jose Altuve.
Now Altuve, instead of getting ready to take the field, has to chill out until his next AB.
He's going to go make a friend.
Here's Carlos Correa. Correa with a 12-game hitting streak, batting .419 during this stretch, and his on-base percentage is over .500. Correa takes one outside for ball 1. Longest active streak in the major leagues. Ball and a strike. With Cahill back with the Oakland A's, we mentioned a variety of teams. Cubs in 2016, Kansas City and San Diego last year, Atlanta, Chicago back in 2015. Not a lot of these Astros have many at-bats against it. In fact, this is the first look for Carlos Correa against Cahill. And he swings and misses. It's 1-2.
Yeah, and Cahill will go to that changeup. It is basically fastball, changeup, curveball, but gives you a good idea of a pitcher's confidence in his changeup when he'll throw it right on right.
Curveball is a big strikeout pitch for him. Try to throw the fastball down low, and Carlos fouled it off. It stays 1-2. KO just signed with the Oakland Athletics on March 18th as a free agent. So he got into the Cactus League spring training flow of things late. Only had a couple of relief appearances at the tail end of spring training. So he began the year at AAA Nashville. On the ground towards Semien. And a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Cahill with a couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout.
Garrett Cole's high four-seamer. We had heard rumors of when he was with Pittsburgh, relied on that two-seamer a lot. Gave up 31 home runs last season, but since coming over to the Astros with that good curveball and that increased rate on the curveball and slider, he's actually been able to use that elevated fastball in the strike zone to not only set up pitches, but also to get some swing and misses and key strikeouts.
Facing Chris Davis and gets a called strike
On a high fastball.
You hear the term carry a lot more now, and with Garrett Cole, carry is one of his strengths. That fastball, especially that high fastball, just never seems to dip down. It just never leaves its plane, and in anything, for a hitter, it almost appears like it's still got a little rise to it, even though that's impossible.
It is impossible, but that's the only way to really explain it, because that downhill action and gravity, literally gravity, will bring that baseball to the earth. But these guys create a different velocity and a different spin to that baseball to create that kind of planing out that Todd is talking about, and it basically flattens out. Roy Oswalt was a great guy at that. He would really get low in his release and his delivery, and you anticipate the ball coming down, but it would just stay flat and you'd swing under it.
And when you talk about spin, there is spin with fastballs with revolutions per minute.
Well, that's the thing, is with all these analytics and spin rates, everybody assumes the spin rate is for the breaking ball, and yes, it does do a good job of explaining that, but the four-seam fastball with a high spin rate can plane out.
Gets the swing and a miss there on the breaking ball as he gets Chris Davis swinging. 3 strikeouts already for Garrett Cole.
Here's some of the numbers getting inside of what Garrett Cole is doing with that four-seamer. The usage is actually down, but he's increased the curveball and the slider, and the RPM and that spin rate, the third line down, jumping almost 200 RPM, creating a little more spin action and flattening out of that fastball. But the peripherals, the swing rates and the opponent average and slugging percentage down considerably.
It's impressive at age 27 to jump that far up in RPMs on the fastball.
Yeah, and just in watching him in the first 5-6 starts now, is I didn't realize, or maybe I seeing something a little bit different, but he looks much more efficient in his delivery. There's not a lot of wasted movement. He doesn't get sideways. There's not a lot of rotation. It's very downhill and direct towards that home plate area.
You want to know what the A's think about him. Matt Olson, a big power hitter, hit 24 home runs in 59 games last year, sees the shift and says, I might be able to bunt my way home.
I'll take the Toke right here.
But he bunts it foul, and now he's in trouble at 0-2. And there you go. 5 outs, 4 strikeouts. Cole off to a quick start in this one.
High heater's a good one, and on our MD Anderson strike zone, you can see a couple of pitches already up in the zone. That's the way he wants to attack some of these A's hitters. That's a great idea of that ball planing out and the swing underneath, the swing and miss. Thank you, Garrett Cole.
See that bat path stay underneath that good high fastball. Now he starts off Matt Chapman with a breaking ball. Well, the 49 strikeouts we mentioned tied Nolan Ryan for the start of a team. 5th start with a team, 49 Ks. Also Bob Feller in that group. The only guys who had more. So Bob Feller and Nolan Ryan are in his company. The only guys who had more in their first 5 starts with the team: Herb Score, Pedro Martinez, Chris Sale, Randy Johnson.
That is some very good company.
And we teed up this inning so far, huh, with that high fastball?
I just appreciate the fact that Garrett Cole is listening and executing.
And that is a 2-0 hitters count fastball.
And Chapman can swing it.
To Matt Chapman, and he just blazes it by him at 96. That one a little low, maybe outside, says the home plate umpire, Chris Siegel.
And on his way out, Garrett Cole had a casual conversation, maybe getting to know Chris Siegel a little bit, maybe talking about that strike zone, but he hasn't missed by much. And again, fastball in a 3-1 count, just challenging the hitter, and he gets it past him.
So a 2-0 and now a 3-1 fastball for swinging strikes.
And it's a great idea of Garrett Cole's game plan. His fastball is up and maybe sliders away to right-handed hitters.
See what Stassi goes with here. Fastball challenges up 98. Garrett Cole strikes out the side.
The Cole train is chugging early in this ball game.
by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you are all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet and their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
All right, Julia, we were watching Yuli Gurriel hitting some really tough luck. He is now 0 for 13, and he probably deserves 4 or 5 hits during that stretch, including that last great play by Matt Chapman.
I completely agree, and we're getting to learn a little bit about these Oakland A's and some of their young players. And the guys on the corner, Matt Olson and Matt Chapman, the guy you're looking at right there, he is very good. He came out of the minor leagues with a good reputation as far as defense. He also brings a very good bat at home plate, even though he's facing Garrett Cole today. But that was a great play against Yuli, and I agree, because Yuli squared some balls up in this series and has nothing to show for it.
Here's Josh Reddick. Well, Chapman's the guy, came out of Cal State Fullerton, and he said that my whole career he just felt like defense came naturally to him, like he never had to work at it. And he has shown great defensive ability at third base as Reddick sends one into center field for the second out of the inning. Now, you're coming off an inning where you swung through a 2-0, 3-1 pitch and then a 3-2 pitch. He could carry that over. He didn't on the first swing of the inning.
No, that's good to see from a young ball player too. You want to see him be able to separate offense from defense. But in this series, we've actually seen a pretty good matchup of very good defensive third baseman. Alex Bregman, not a traditional third baseman, but plays excellent third base.
Bregman knows how good Chapman is defensively. They were right around the same time collegiately. Alex, of course, at LSU, and Chapman at Cal State Fullerton. And if Bregman is going to challenge for a Gold Glove, Chapman might be one of his top candidates he has to go against this year in the American League. Alex reached 4 times in last night's game, as that average up to 267. Trevor Cahill delivers a strike on the inside corner. Alex thought it may have been a little bit inside or low. It's 1-2.
There's some late sink on that ball, and you really hope that the umpire is in tune to that fact, because when it starts on that inside edge, sometimes it'll sink off the plate.
Alex, a couple of base hits, a couple of walks, a couple of RBIs in last night's game. Tries to hold up, but he goes down swinging there. So 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Cahill. Today is a baseball basic Sunday afternoon. We're teaching you about the fundamentals of defense in the outfield. George Springer, not a bad guy to watch as he goes flying across the field to make great catches in center or in right.
What I love is these are set up in a way where he's going left, he's going right, he's coming in, going back. That one of the more memorable ones, robbing a grand slam, but really the athleticism is showing through in a lot of those plays too, because you can get caught in a bad spot, but George has so much athleticism that he can make up for it by laying out and making up some of those issues maybe in the initial step.
Two of the last three batters for the A's now showing bunt as Piscotty takes one for a called strike.
Sounds like you kind of feel that they're going to wave the white flag.
Cole has been absolutely impressive here in the first 6 batters, striking out 5 of them. Just missed with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-1.
Put that away this inning.
I know. I was thinking watching the Springer string of highlights if an outfielder is going to get a ball here in the first few innings. So far, the Astros outfielders haven't had to see any action. It's been a soft line drive to Marwin Gonzalez and the rest strikeouts. Cole ahead 1-2. And a ground ball slowly hit towards Correa in the shift. Carlos makes the play. And that's 7 straight sent down by Garrett Cole. Preston Wilson is going to help us out on this baseball basics. His first lesson is about positioning and getting ready as the pitch comes in.
The first thing every outfielder should learn is how to get ready to make a play. Then what does that mean? That means I want to make sure I'm in the most athletic position to be able to go in, back, left, or right. Well, how do I do that? Very simple. Get into a good athletic position. One of the main things I see guys do that I really don't like is they're out here in the outfield waiting on the ball and they got their hands on their knees. It's a problem simply because before you move, the first thing you have to do is take your hands off your knees. Look at most base stealers. Most base stealers get ready like this, which is your most explosive position because you're trying to get to 90 feet as fast as possible. Your hands off your legs and then you go. Same thing in outfield. You want to have your hands up off your knees so that way if it's hit back, boom, you can go back. If the ball's in, you freeze for a second, then come in. And everything's with your hands off it. It's good wide base, a little bit wider than shoulder length apart. If you got to go left, you go left. Watch the crossover step. Right, you go right. All of that starts from having a good base. It's like when you're hitting in the batter's box, you want to have a good base under you. It's like when you're stealing bases, got to have a good base under you. Everything in baseball is wait around and explode, wait around and explode. So in the outfield, it's no different. You're waiting, boom, then you want to explode. That's your good base, that's your athletic position, that's how you get ready for the ball.
All right, Preston will have lessons for us during the course of today's game as we just saw Chad Pinder hit a ball in the right center field. First time an A's hitter has reached base before the 5th inning in this series. And Jake actually did a real nice job cutting that ball off and almost got him trying to head to second on the double.
Yeah, that's the speed and range of the outfield that A.J. Hinch has out there today does that. They really put an emphasis on not allowing some of those line drives to get to the gap. He's already shifted that way, but you can see instead of running directly to the baseball, he runs back a little bit, judges as the ball starts to slow down on the grass to be able to put himself in a good position. A couple of steps, and then he gets on top and unleashes a pretty good laser on a long hop to Carlos Correa to make that play close at second.
That was really well done. Covered a lot of ground, and as you said, that's a tough throw when his body's going the opposite way. For
a right-handed thrower to get over there, field on his left-hand side, stop, plant, and throw, very tough.
And he put it right on the money. Pinder just a little too fast. There's a line drive towards right, and George Springer will cut this off. Pinder comes around to score. The ball eludes George. And it's now a 1-0 lead as Jonathan Lucroy has doubled in Chad Pinder, back-to-back doubles, and the A's on top 1-0.
There's that good balance that Preston was talking about, and George was very aggressive to the baseball. I think his intent was to knock that ball down and keep LaCroix at first base, but in doing so, ball jumped on him a little bit off the turf. But still, the intent and the footwork were there.
Well, similar to an infielder, even though that ball was hit to the outfield, when it's hit that hard, you can get an in-between hop.
Yep.
And it looked like George may have had a little in-between hop while he was heading towards the line.
And playing the outfield's a little bit different just because the grass is so much more involved as opposed to the infield where the dirt comes into play. And we call it snaking. And it depends on how that outfield grass is shaved. And it'll take a funky hop, it'll skip because there might be a little moisture out there on the grass. But again, it's the intent of George Springer to go over there and try and cut that ball off and keep it from getting to the wall.
When Blummer talks about snaking, depending on the cut of the grass, as you said, it can go left, right as it rolls out to you in the outfield.
And it's not something you can read like a green at the golf course, which way the grain is going, but you can see the stripes in the outfield, and that actually pushes the blades of grass a certain way, and if the baseball is rolling on it, it'll have a tendency to go back and forth a little bit and zig and zag.
So after Cole retired the first 7 batters, back-to-back doubles from the 8 and 9 hitters, and now he's 2-2 on Matt Joyce. And he gets him. Strikeout number 6 for Garrett Cole. And the second out of the inning.
A lot of pitches up and away, but that was a good slider down. And again, he powers that pitch through there. 90 miles an hour.
Starts off Marcus Semien with a strike, throws the slider in there. And that one was in on the hands.
I'm glad he didn't do what he did yesterday because I was going to have flashbacks of Baggy up here. Some of his comments when Semien got absolutely blown up.
Baggy said he was shot.
Stop. You're going to get me again. Shot him.
Oh. We appreciate, by the way, the Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. And got a lot of great responses from the fans after last night's game.
Yes, we did. They love them some Jeff Bagwell. Rightfully so. I would imagine he's sleeping in.
Very entertaining hearing you guys discuss baseball throughout the course of 9 innings, and it was obviously a very positive night for the Houston Astros, scoring 11 runs, including 3 in the first inning, and watching Lance McCullers just lights out against these A's. 5 perfect innings and only allowed 2 hits and 2 runners all night in 7 innings. We'll have Bagwell back again in May and every month throughout the rest of the season for 1 Saturday a month. 0-2 pitch is down and away. It's 1-2. Stassi's done a nice job in his starts behind the plate. Second start of this homestand also caught Justin Verlander. Next time Bagwell will be in the booth will be May 19th when the Cleveland Indians are in town. Swing and a miss. Cole, after giving up a couple of doubles in the inning, gets another swing and a miss. That's 13 through 3 innings. And it's 1-0 Athletics.
our theme. Remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW on Twitter. What's the most important quality an outfielder can have? Speed, a great first step, good communicator, fearlessness. Vote in our poll. We will reveal the results later in the broadcast. TK.
All right, Julia, all those combined would be perfect, but you got to choose one.
We got to make it tough on the fans. Got to be picky and choosy.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin chose a pitch to devour last night and sent one into the second deck. It was the 4th Astros home run and the longest of the night as he crushed one in his last AB to give the Astros a 10-0 lead. Would eventually end up being an 11-0 win. Astros trying to solve Trevor Cahill. First couple of innings, nobody reaching base, although Yuli Gurriel was robbed on a great play by Matt Chapman at third. Marwin, in addition to that solo home run, also had a sac fly, another multiple RBI game for Marwin. He's around the bunt, sends one towards third. Chapman's going to let it roll, and it rolls foul. Once it dropped off that infield cutoff into the dirt.
Really just hoping it would stay on that grass, because the second it caught that lip, it pushed it foul. Pretty heads-up idea with Chapman playing deep against him. Beautiful bunt. There's too much steam, and once it catches that left edge of the grass, this will be a great look at it as it just kind of uses it and uses that momentum to get pushed foul. That is the only play Matt Chapman had. If that ball stays fair, no chance.
Marwin started around first just in case he decided not to field it. Still a 2-1 count. Still a good count for Marwin. And he bunts it. This time he drags it, and he's going to be safe. How about that? Goes down the third base line with one bunt attempt, and then he goes right down the right side with a drag bunt. Perfectly placed.
You don't see that too often, where a guy tries to drag one, doesn't do it, and then turns around the very next pitch and takes a little bit of a slider and pushes it past Cahill beautifully. And once you get it past that pitcher, it really forces that first baseman to come in and make the play, and that's when it turns into a foot race, and Marwin had a head start. Made it easy. Probably telling Matt Olson, that's how you do it.
Here's Max Stassi. That's impressive for a lot of reasons. You don't see a guy try a bunt attempt twice in a row very often unless he's in sacrifice mode. As Stassi pops one up. Not moving very far as Olson. Marwin has to get his foot back on the bag. The other impressive thing, it's a Sunday day game. Nobody's out here hitting today.
Yeah.
Even though guys go down below in the cage, you don't really work on bunts in the cage because there's nowhere to bunt.
Well, that, and last night he took 93 to his neck and put it halfway up the upper deck.
Right.
I mean, versatile as far as defense and versatile as far as how to get hits.
Well, Marwin on first base. He's the first and only to this point base runner for the Astros. Here's Jake Marisnick. Outside, ball one. Cahill has faced the Astros twice. Pitched in relief against Houston here at Minute Maid Park. His only previous appearance in this stadium as he pitched on September 11th of 2016 for the Cubs against the Astros.
Wow. Should take a minute and think about it.
One and two the count.
Catcher's interference.
Catcher's interference called against Jonathan Lucroy. And Jake Marisnick will reach first base. That'll be an error on the catcher. No at-bat charge to Jake. By the way, go ahead.
LaCroix's glove getting out there, and Jake laying the barrel down early. He clips that glove, gets him on base.
I was going to say, we are a couple of things. We're going to have people on Twitter today. If you have any questions about outfield defense or any thoughts about outfield defense, it is a Baseball Basics Sunday. You can ask us via Twitter, AT&T Sportsnet SW, at Real Todd Callis, at Blummer27, at Julia Morales. Also, we have watched people throughout the course of the season ask us about scoring the game, and that's going to be one of our baseball basic shows in the
we
future.
will do that again. Yeah, we got a huge response last year. Actually, I still get pictures of people scoring at home, so I think it's wonderful.
Ball in the dirt, and George Springer says, everybody go a base. So Marwin takes advantage, so does Jake. On a pitch that gets away from Lucroy. And now the Astros with 2 in scoring position and 1 out.
That one might go down as a pass ball. Never really got in the dirt, and I think it confused Lucroy a little bit going down, thinking it was going to be in the dirt, and then it handcuffed him and jumped out of his glove. They're going to give that a wild pitch. It's unfortunate. Still 90 feet more for Marwin Gonzalez.
Infield stays back. Anything on the ground should score a run here. 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Another one in the dirt, 2-0. So we will have a scoring the game show. Kevin Eschenfelder and his son were a big part of that last year. A lot more people coming out to the ballpark with scorebooks. That's a good sign.
It is good to see it. I think I'm assuming you can pick them up at a sporting goods store. I know that Todd and I have specific scorecards and scorebooks that we use.
There's a ball ripped to left field. That'll score at least 1. Jake being held up, and now the fumble. But it's too late to restart Jake. Pettis saw Matt Joyce drop the ball left and then try to get him restarted. At that point, he was at a dead stop. So just 1 RBI for George on the ball ripped to the left field.
And normally we see Gary Pettis waving everybody in the planet, except maybe Brian McCann. But because George hit this ball so hard that he initially held up Jake Marisnick because the ball got to Matt Joyce so quickly. But you could almost sense the urgency in Matt Joyce knowing that Jake Marisnick was the base runner. That's why he clanked it.
Knowing that Jake was running and knowing the aggressive nature of one Gary Pettis.
Yeah.
But it was hit so hard, as you said. George ends up with 1 RBI. Now the infield still back. Now they're looking to try and turn 2, but Jose Altuve is the hitter. Nobody with a better batting average with runners in scoring position than Jose Altuve. 5:26. George started, stopped, and Altuve fouls one out of play.
Yeah, I think George needs to trust his instincts a little bit more at first base. But going back to that base hit, and you could see he did not field the ball out in front. It kind of got him in the in-between hop, and when he brings the glove back, you lose sight of the baseball going into the glove. It proceeded to hit him in the heel of the glove, and that's when it started to rattle around.
Everything speeds up a little, and out of the corner of your eye, you're trying to see if the runner's trying to score.
There was a lot going on when you were in a panic.
Altuve rounded out his first time up. Around the bunt, bunts it to the right side, and Cahill's going to flip it to first. In comes Marisnick to score. The Astros take a 2-1 lead.
Team baseball, you would like to see Jose Altuve swing the bat a little bit more, but first and third situations, we know that the Astros like that safety squeeze with the bunt going towards first. And with Jake Marisnick at third base, that is an easy run for the Astros to score.
It would have been a tough play, but I was a little surprised Cahill didn't try to take a shot at home.
I think it gives you an idea of how Cahill feels about his fielding ability. Because most pitchers trying to protect their ERA would try and get that runner at home.
Probably would have needed to take a backhand flip, and those can sometimes go awry, but looked like Cahill might have had a shot at getting Jake. Instead, it's 2-1 Astros. Here's Carlos Correa. Breaking ball for a strike.
It really feels like Chris Seagull is watching the pitch, thinking about it, adjusting his strike zone, and then making the call. Pace a call.
George, an RBI single. Altuve gets the RBI sacrifice bunt. You are following along with a scorebook. That is a sacrifice RBI on the safety squeeze by Altuve, so no at bat. Cahill ahead of Correa, 0-2.
Maybe Jose Altuve Was checking out Garrett Cole's numbers and said, if I push the second run across, we don't have to do anything the rest of the game.
Other than 2 hitters, Cole has looked untouchable. And a called third strike. Correa goes down looking. That is the 3rd strikeout for Cahill. He has won an inning, but it's 2-1 Astros.
Volunteering on game day at Minute Maid Park, help with craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. Visit astros.com/volunteer to sign up now.
On we go to the 4th inning. Astros with their first lead of the day as Jed Lowry bats for the 2nd time against Garrett Cole. Lowry struck out against Cole his first time up. Garrett has 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. A Chad Pinder double followed by a Jonathan Lucroy double, scoring a run for the A's last inning. Lowry high to right field, but he got under this one. So George camps under it. Not far from where he started in right field, and that is out number 1. Plummer, we mentioned Gary Pettis as the 3rd base coach last inning. His job is not done when the team's not batting.
Yeah, I got a question on Twitter about how do these guys know where to play, and there is an infield coach that will tell these guys where to play, especially in these shift situations, and Gary Pettis is the outfield guy. So the outfielders after every hitter will look in, realize where Gary's asking them to shade, and they'll start moving around a little bit, and he'll go through the analytics and adjust accordingly.
And some of it may seem counterintuitive. In fact, Chris Davis is a decent example, but we'll see Jake Marisnick shaded towards right against Chris Davis. And George is actually towards the line and right against Davis, who feels like, because of all his home run power, he's a pull hitter. But we see him go partly the other way, the opposite way a lot.
We really do. And some of the Stats Inc. information that we got today, and I was perusing it, and one of the guys they keyed on was Chris Davis. He has 6 home runs up the middle to the right side. So a lot of those fly balls are going to center field and right field. Only 1 home run to left.
There you go. They look at those spray charts and they position guys accordingly. And that's why Davis has everybody shifted over a little bit towards the right side. In the outfield, at least. On the infield, it's a different story.
It is, and going back to what Preston was talking about as far as getting ready, this is synced up with what Garrett Cole at the same time. And he's got his hands up around those thighs, but that's an athletic position. He's not sedentary on the with the hands on the knees. And what I like too is that he actually kind of walks into the pitch much like infielders do, creating a little bit of momentum and movement.
Well,
just like that.
George only moved about 3 feet to catch that ball because he was positioned right where they assumed Chris Davis would hit one if he hit a fly ball to right field.
It's pretty cool. Love it when a plan comes together.
And Jake is a guy that gets as good a jump as anybody. He gets great first steps.
He really does. They anticipate the ball being hit to them. That's why they get those good jumps. What else I like is that you'll see a lot of outfielders catching the fly ball on the glove side. That makes it easier for them to see it go into the glove. If you start reaching across your eyes and moving that glove to the right-hand side of your body, hopefully it's because you have to, not because you want to, because you don't want to lose track of that ball as it's coming down.
Matt Olson, the batter. As opposed to Davis, where the outfield was shifted opposite field for him and the infield was shifted to pull, Olson, both sides are shifted to pull.
Yeah, he's a pull monster, and just some of the keys on the right. That good first step. We saw Jake get it, catching the ball on the glove side. The crow hop is involved when you're charging in, trying to make that play at home and try and create a good throw. And don't be afraid to get long with that arm and create good velocity. That's something that Jake and George do very good. Josh Reddick out in left does a good job. But this one right here, fundamentally, hit that cutoff. Give that cutoff man a chance to make the cut. Throw it through him.
We saw the Astros take advantage of at least one of those situations last night where the throw came home over the cutoff man, and that allowed an extra 90 feet. Garrett Cole, 1, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye. And a former All-Star. Send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW as Yuli Gurriel leads off the bottom half of the fourth inning. Yuli was robbed on a great play by Matt Chapman his first time up. Yuli's in the midst of an 0 for 13 right now. Another ball down the line. This time Chapman can't get there, and that is extra bases for Yuli. It should be. Yuli stopped at first base for a moment, and now he goes to second for a start, stop, restart double.
Well, I think the reason he started because he assumed that Semien was going to be over there backing up that play, or he didn't think it was fair. But sneaking that one inside the line past Matt Chapman, finally gets that knock out of it. But he anticipated somebody over there to play it off the wall. Marcus Semien did not. How many times have we seen Carlos Correa sprinting to that edge of the outfield grass to get that ball and keep the runner at first? Semien did not.
That one has to feel good for Yuli, snapping an 0 for 13. If he had got robbed one more time by Chapman, he had been snake bitten for the last 3 games. Here's Josh Reddick. Yuli now 2 for 3 in his career against Cahill with that double, a home run, and a great defensive play the only time he was retired. Reddick flied out to center his first time up. back to the mound. Cahill looks Gurriel back and throws to first. That's out number 1. I'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman hitting .371 in his last 9 games.
What I love is that he hasn't treated this as a demotion getting down in the order. He's actually treated it as an opportunity. The averages come up and so have the runs batted in.
Yeah, a lot of RBIs in the last few games have come from the bottom part of the order, which wasn't the case the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, early on in the season, it was really the bottom 3 in that lineup, and it was also the DH spot, trying to figure out some production or way to get those guys going.
AJ today tweaking that a little bit with the DH being Jose Altuve. Altuve has the best batting average with runners in scoring position in all of baseball coming into today. Bregman not too shabby either, as you can see, with 11 for 24. That's currently in the top 10. Fourth in the American League, 9th overall. Chops one off his foot. Roof closed today. We expect it to be open the next 3 nights. Yankees coming to town. Morgan, Sonny Gray will be the first matchup. Called third strike. Alex thought that was a little high. Instead, he goes down looking. Strikeout number 4 for Cahill.
See what MD Anderson has to say. We haven't seen too many pitches called in that upper quadrant in this series, period. But that one today, catching a lot of the zone. And it's not typical to see a guy like Cahill pitching up in the zone like that with his sinker.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez, bunt single his first time up. Started a 2-run rally. One and one the count. Man, you are quick on Twitter today. I'm trying to catch up, and
You work. I'm here for the fun of it.
We're both here for the fun of it. Occasionally we have a third member of our booth, and then we have even more fun.
Yep.
But we, on a day-to-day basis, we have a lot of fun. But you're on top of the social media. Impressive.
Well, my 3rd cup of coffee, Todd.
Right back to Cahill. Marwin on 1 hop is retired for the final out of the inning. So leadoff double by Yuli, and he is stranded there. Still 2-1 Astros.
playoff game against the New York Yankees, merging with Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin calling it, but coming in late was George Springer. That's what center fielders do. They just go after the baseball. I think George, with the crowd noise, as loud as it was here in Minute Maid Park, was calling it late also. But you got to appreciate the fact that he is going to get the baseball and made the play. And it's set up nicely for a little ending there with Marwin having a good time with him.
Great response by Marwin, just standing there like,
hey, I could have made the play too if you wanted me to.
I'm here.
Yeah, use me if you need me.
We're in the 5th inning. Garrett Cole with a 1-1 count on Matt Chapman. Cole has 8 strikeouts through 4. Has done well against the first 7 hitters in this lineup. That's the 8-hitter Chad Pinder, the 9-hitter Jonathan Lucroy. With doubles against Cole, scoring the lone run. Astros leading 2-1. First at bat, Chapman faced Cole. Garrett got behind in the count 2-0, threw a fastball. Chapman missed it. Cole got behind the count 3-1, threw a fastball. Chapman missed it. And he eventually struck him out at 3-2. Fouled that last one off. And a fastball freezes him. Chapman knew it, even though Stassi didn't catch it cleanly. And that is strikeout number 9 for Garrett Cole.
That is beautifully painted. And again, firm to quite firm.
You may have noticed Stassi on his way back to getting behind the plate said a little something to Chris Segal. Probably like, I apologize, I should catch those to make
I'll try and make it look better.
Right. There's a foul ball off the bat of Piscotty. But Chapman knew it was a strike. And Max is so good at framing every once in a while. In framing a pitch, they get away. Piscotty grounded out his first time up. Sends one into left field. Josh Reddick coming on. And Josh makes the play for out number 2. Guarantee all the 2018 tickets you want with a full or partial season plan. Season ticket plans let you enjoy the best seats at Minute Maid Park, save money, and receive great benefits all year long. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/season tickets for more info and to get your seats today. Base is cleared with 2 outs, and here's Chad Pinder. Doubled and scored a run his first time up and misses 96, 0-1. Cole has thrown 71 pitches, 50 of those 71 for strikes. Not sure how much more impressed we could be with a guy in his first 6 starts in this Astros uniform.
Yeah, it really has been remarkable what Garrett Cole has been able to go out there and do, and he has given up a couple of home runs. He's given up some hits, but we really haven't seen a change in the emotion or the approach or the stuff.
Swing and a miss, 97, 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. We are halfway home with the Astros leading 2-1. wagon. Bottom half of inning number 5 from Minute Maid Park on a Sunday afternoon. Glad you could join us. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Julian Morales. Astros trying to take a home series. That hasn't happened in a little while. Part of the reason is they've been on the road, but also because they lost 2 out of 3 to the Los Angeles Angels. Prior to that, losing 2 out of 3 to the Texas Rangers. Last home series win came against the Padres April 6th through 8th when they took 2 out of 3 from San Diego. Max Stassi popped up his first time up and takes a couple of strikes from Trevor Cahill. It'll be Stassi, Jake Bereznik, and then back to the top of the order for George Springer. Bounces in there. It's 1-2. Astros starting the day leading the AL West by a game and a half. A little bit bunched up in that AL West. The Mariners are 2 games back, and then Oakland 3.5 behind. Stassi into right field. That'll send Piscotty back to the wall, and he will make the catch. No, it's a home run. It's a home run. A fan. No, they're going to call it an out. It's an out. A fan reached over as Piscotty was ready to make the catch, and the second base umpire, Dan Bellino, is calling it an out. Max Stassi is going to circle the bases just in case. They're going to call fan interference.
Yeah, both sides are going to take a peek at what's going on out there, because there really wasn't a concerted effort by Piscotty to get up there and go get that baseball. But what in the Jeffrey Mayer's going on out here? It's helping out the hometown hitters. I'm not sure it's entirely legal. He did try and go up and get it, but he literally took that right out of the glove of Piscotty.
Yeah, that should be fan interference. Unless Julian Morales was playing right, then it would have been a home run.
Good point.
Wow.
TK.
Burn.
I mean, it's a combination of things, Plummer. It's the fact that the fan's hand connects with his glove, and the fact that the glove was there. As much as we'd like to see that be a home run for Stassi.
Yeah, he couldn't get his glove to the baseball because of the fan. Now, if he reaches into the stands and goes over the wall, then the fan has every right to reach out and do whatever he wants. But because the fan reached over the wall, that's where the fan interference comes into play.
Stassi just needed a couple more feet on that fly ball. It would have been his 3rd home run of the year. To Dan Bellino's credit, he called it right away. Second base umpire went out into shallow outfield and saw the fan interference.
He did. He did a great job of going out there and making sure he had a good look at it. As much as I hate to admit it, I believe that is the proper call.
It is. Fans don't like it here. Obviously, they are wearing the orange and blue and are a little skewed in their judgment. But that was the right call, unfortunately.
A.J. Hinch on the field, getting some things clarified. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, is going to come over and finish off this conversation. And even if A.J. is going out with a legitimate beef, which he usually does because he reads the scorebook or reads the rule book every offseason, it actually sends a pretty good message to the guys in the dugout, saying that if you have an opportunity at a home run or a base hit or a stolen base or a run scored, RBI, something positive, he will go out there and fight for you and try and get the right answer as far as what the umpires are determining. And there he is. I believe that's Stassi bent over next to him having the conversation.
AJ giving him the full description of what Tom Hallion just told him after the review in New York, so Max understands it. It's unfortunate. He almost,
yeah, it is,
just a foot or two away from a home run, and that fan will be leaving his seat in right field. That's what the fans are reacting to now. It's part of the game, though, if you interfere with a play.
Oh, they state it every time, before every game in every ballpark on the big board and through the PA system. They let fans know that reaching onto the field and getting on the playing field is frowned upon, and Unfortunately, that man is an example of what happens.
Well, the little delay, Cahill's missed with the first 3 to Jake Marisnik. Jake reaching on a catcher's interference his first time up, scored a run.
Interesting note about that catcher's interference. Seeing what Jake does here. Takes it for a strike, but interesting note on that. Catcher's interference. Last season, Josh Reddick reached first base 5 times against the A's on catcher's interference.
His former team.
Former team, 5 times. That was the first catcher's interference for the Astros this season.
And that was against different catchers because Lucroy just came over this offseason.
Yeah, Josh Fagley, Stephen Vogt, and Maxwell, who's on the roster, all contributing to those catcher's interference.
Bob Melvin's a former catcher. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, not helping my cause here.
We had Josh Reddick. We know his swing. We're into the count. There's Josh and Justin Verlander in the background. And Jake tried to hold up, but he goes around. That is a strikeout for Cahill. Cahill's had exactly 1 strikeout in each inning so far. Now has 5 in the game. It's funny to watch the different styles. Cahill really battles you and tries to set you up for his strikeouts. And Garrett Cole comes out there and just goes, woof.
Garrett Cole is mean. We talked about it in between innings. I know I might be divulging too much information, but there's some times when Garrett Cole has been out there, even Justin Verlander, where I just don't know what to say because they are so dominant in how they put some of these guys away.
It's just pure gas with the fastball.
It's just a relentless assault on the strike zone with a power fastball, power slider, and power curveball.
52 of 73 pitches for strikes so far today, and 17 swings and misses. 1-1 to count to Springer.
He's going to set all kinds of swing and miss records this season, it feels like.
George down in the count 1-2. What I'd like to know is how did Garrett Cole go through all those seasons with Pittsburgh without back-to-back double-digit strikeout games?
Wait, what?
Never had a double-digit strikeout game back-to-back.
Ever.
And now he had 3 in a row to start his Astros career, and he picked up his 4th one today in his 6th start.
Now we expect it.
now it's commonplace. Like, oh yeah, 10 strikeouts through 5. I can see that.
And I know punch-outs are up across baseball, but wow, that's a surprising number.
And the fact that his career high was only 12 coming in also. He got 14 earlier this year in his 3rd start. Has 10 already tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say. Springer drills one deep to left center field. This ball is gone. George Springer hits number 6 on the year, and the Astros take a 3-1 lead.
2-out lightning. Gosh, that is just a hanging breaking ball, absolutely pummeled. This is a slider, curveball, it stays up, and then just a malevolent swing through the zone by George Springer. Came in at 80 miles an hour and left in a much greater hurry. Just to the right of that home run pump.
Impressive. Altuve first pitch swinging, pops one high in the air. Jed Lowry, the second baseman, camped under it. And that'll do it for the Astros in the 5th, but not before Springer adds to the lead. 3-1 Houston. George Springer hitting home run number 6 on the season, giving the Astros a 2-run lead for Garrett Cole, who has really been unhittable for just a 2-batter stretch when Pinder and LaCroix had doubles against him in the 3rd inning. Other than that, he's retired everybody else today with 10 strikeouts of the 15 outs. Starts inning 6 with 73 pitches, facing LaCroix, who doubled home the only run of the game for the A's. Strike to LaCroix. Some fans on Twitter didn't believe that that should have been interference. I'm not sure if it looked worse on our replays, because what we saw looked like Chris LaCroix base hit in the left field. He's got 2 of the 3 hits today for the A's. What we saw looked like it was the accurate call.
It's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Garrett Cole in this ball game is built to punch guys out, and at a pretty rapid pace too. Got an electric fastball today, locating it both sides of the plate and also elevating to get the swing and miss. A couple of power sliders coming in there at 90 miles an hour to get swings and misses. This is a guy that seems to be on an absolute mission every time he's on the mound.
Somehow Jonathan Lucroy owns Garrett Cole. At least he has in recent times. Overall in his career, Lucroy is now 9 for 21 against Cole, and he's reached base 7 straight times, 6 for 6 in a walk.
Some guys, you just see the ball better than most. There's probably a bunch of guys in the A's dugout asking LaCroix, how do you do it?
Right. 1 for 17, the rest of the guys in the lineup. And LaCroix is 2 for 2. Joyce has had his share of problems against Garrett Cole, striking out his first time up and his second time. 2 of the 10 strikeouts for Garrett.
But getting back to the, maybe some of the replays don't give the proper angle, but that ball wasn't going into the stands.
Right.
It was coming straight down. I'm not sure as it was coming down if it was going to land in the stands.
Correct.
And that's where, even though the guy out there didn't reach completely full length out over the stands, he reached onto the playing field.
The outfielder has the right to the ball unless it goes
into the
unless
stands.
he clears the wall and goes into the stands.
Yeah.
And he had the right to that baseball, even though some viewers felt like the fan didn't reach out. He was still hanging out over that wall. 1-2 the count to Matt Joyce. And he rips one over Marwin Gonzalez and into right field for a hit. Lucroy going first to third as Springer gets the ball back in. And the A's have themselves a little rally here in the 6th inning.
The A's swing the bats well on the road, but that was a slider kind of flattened out, came right back into the left-handed hitting Matt Joyce. Lucroy wasn't buying the deke and went first to third.
Here's Marcus Semien. Only the 2nd inning that Cole has had to work out of the stretch. Semien fouls one back off the mask of Max Stassi. It's 0-1.
Max's mask. Max. That's not easy right there.
Max. 0-2. 97.
That's angry fast.
Well, now he's looking at a 1st and 3rd, nobody out situation with the infield back, hoping to turn 2. He knows that a fastball here would go a long way to keeping this a shutdown inning. Towards the middle of the diamond, and it's trapped, and a double play turned by Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin stepped on the bag and threw to first for the double play on the trap and kept the runner at third base all in the same motion.
That is some kind of special, and you know you're going good when you're able to turn that double play and keep the runner. Gosh, the timing of that was perfect. Short hop, foot on the bag.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I know the term court awareness could be overused or misunderstood, but that was being aware of where the bag was and where the baseball was. And in one step, the catch, step on the bag, check the runner, throw him out at first. Thank you very much.
And this is a guy since Yuli came off the DL who's been playing outfield mostly.
Yeah.
This is our outfield defense segment, but that's an outfielder turned infielder making that play.
Yeah.
Wow. Harmon keeps getting it done, no matter where you play him in the field.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, but I took a peek at Garrett, and he looked right back at Max Stassi, and it was almost like great pitch, even better play. He was fired up.
Now facing Jed Lowry, hottest hitter all year for the A's, and he fouls one back on the fastball. Marwin turning 2, and now Cole can see his way out of this first and third no-out situation.
Might be something that we don't talk about often enough either, is the defense of the Houston Astros behind the great pitching they have. A lot of times these guys are going to go out, get their strikeouts, but at the same time you need to get a little bit of help from the defense behind you. And there's definitely a concerted effort on behalf of the Astros defense to help these pitchers put up these historic numbers.
They're on a great run defensively right now.
Yeah.
On the ground towards first, it bounces up off of Yuli, and everybody safe with a run scoring on a bad hop off the ground ball hit by Lowry. It's now a 3-2 game. That jumped up on his shoulder, but should have been a routine out.
This will be a good angle. Yuli was in perfect position. Now remember, there are a lot of guys passing first base and leading off at first base. That ground in that base path gets chewed up quite a bit. Not that hop, this hop. Boom.
No chance.
Absolutely no chance.
That ball's inside and hits Chris Davis on the arm, and he will take first base, putting runners on first and second. So a frustrating couple of pitches for Cole. It looked like he was out of the inning. Instead, a bad hop base hit, and now a hit batter. That's why you see first basemen smoothing that dirt out a lot over
constantly
first.
Yeah.
So a break for the A's to make it a one-run game, and now runners on first and second with 2 outs. Lowry given the RBI on the base hit. Up and into Matt Olson. 1-0 on the 98 heater inside. Olson has struck out twice today against Garrett Cole. Strike called, 1-1.
I wonder if that was Max Stassi's idea to call the slider in that situation. Fastball a little erratic, maybe have him change that grip, change the mindset a little bit, get back in the count.
1-2.
Ooh.
This crowd will get behind Garrett Cole here with 2 outs and 2 strikes, you would hope, in this 3-2 game. Big pitch here. Stassi and Cole want to make sure they know exactly the best option in this 2-2 count.
Yeah, they know they'd like to make a big pitch here and get Garrett Cole out of this inning and have him back out there for the 7th.
He got him. Strikeout number 11. Stassi has to throw to first to complete the out, and he does. And Cole preserves a 3-2 lead. We head to the bottom half of the sixth. The Astros on top by a run.
A hint, Blummer dives into details about launch angle, and we'll give you an inside look at Astros Photo Day. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded, Fridays before pregame and re-airing all week long, only on AT&T Sportsnet. TK.
All right, Julia. Carlos Correa swings at the first pitch and grounds one towards Chapman, who moves nicely to his left for the first out of the bottom half of the sixth inning. Correa now 0 for 3 on the day, looking to try and extend that hitting streak with one more AB today. Here's Yuli Gurriel, double and also robbed of a hit on a great play by Chapman at third. Lee has hit Cahill well, including his third career home run a couple of seasons ago. Only has 3 at-bats against Trevor, but has hit the ball hard all 3 times. Two and 1 the count.
Really got to be patient and wait for the call from home plate umpire Chris Siegel. Almost seems as if some of the pitches cross and he goes, nah.
Now it's 3 and 1. Oh, Yuli very aggressive up there. Hitters count. Sends one to left field, sending Joyce all the way back. He's on the track and he reaches up and he makes the play. For a visiting player, that's never easy to go into that area by the visiting bullpen.
Yeah, you just know it's a matter of time before one of these funky corners comes out and takes a bite out of you. But Joyce did a good job of creating an angle right there to give him more space to make that play. But he could feel the impending doom coming out.
Part of the quirks of Minute Maid Park is the wall juts out from the out-of-town scoreboard straight out to the bullpen. You can hit a ball deep enough to go out to the Crawford boxes if you pull it a little bit, and then it's an out. But it's a little bit towards center field. Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick down on the count, 0-2. Cahill so far has allowed 4 hits to the Astros. Of the 3 runs allowed, one of them unearned after Jake Marisnick reached on a catcher's interference. Hasn't walked a batter and struck out 5. Cahill, a late addition to the Athletics starting 5. Terrell Cotton went on the DL. Waited until March 19th before signing him. Spent the first couple of starts AAA level with Nashville. Made his A's debut the second time around on April 17th. Started his career back with Oakland in 2009 through 11. In the air to center field. Drifting back on it is Pinder for the final out. 3-2 game heading to the 7th. For the 7th inning, this is our Sunday Baseball Basics. More learning from Preston Wilson, especially about the nuances here at Minute Maid Park.
Another part of playing outfield is understanding how the wall plays, how the real estate out here might affect the way the ball bounces. On this fence in Minute Maid Park, you have the flat section in right field. That's pretty standard. It bounces right back to you. But there's an angle right there that's hard to see from home plate, but it's angled more towards the sideline. So what does that do? Watch this bounce. It goes that way. So when a ball is hit off of that, you have to make sure you're going to this side. When the ball is hit off of this one, we're going to this one. Let's give you an example, little live action here. Ball hit over my head. Oh, I got to go this way to get the ball. And that's it. Know your ballpark, know your angles. You'll be just fine.
All right, Preston, thank you. We've seen Jake Marisnick and George Springer really attuned to all the different angles here at Minute Maid Park. We saw Matt Joyce have to go back into those little cutouts by the bullpen last inning. Garrett Cole on the comebacker gets the first out of the inning, getting Matt Chapman for out number 1.
No Player Does More is presented by HEB. Jake Marisnick had a very similar play to what Preston was talking about. He knew he wasn't going to have a play on the baseball. So what he did is he immediately anticipated where that ball was going to ricochet off the field. But at times, Jake Marisnick is fearless in throwing his body out there to support his pitchers. And that was back in Fenway in 2015, I believe it was, when he threw his body into that wall and made a heck of a grab going into sheet metal. Not a padded wall, but some sheet metal manual scoreboard out there. Jake knows exactly where he is on the field at all times, no matter where he is.
Seen guys come out of there with some injuries because those.
It's dangerous.
There's some edges in that wall.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen Piscotty, the batter, with a 1-0 count. Nice breaking ball for a called strike. As good as Cole's fastball has been, he's been able to drop in that breaking ball when he wants to for a strike. Curveball comes in around 81, 82. He's thrown it at 83 a couple times. And that slider around 88, 89. He's thrown it around 90 a couple of times. And now he's ahead 1-2. Pitch count starting to creep towards 100. And with that in mind, Will Harris beginning to warm up in the Astros bullpen. High pitch count on the year for Garrett is 109 in his last start. Fourth game out of 6 with the Astros with at least 11 strikeouts for Cole. Ball sent to right field, pretty well hit. Springer all the way back at the wall. This one's off the top of the wall. Stays in play, and Piscotty has a 1-out double.
Tell you what, George has been tested out there. Moving from center field to right field, and the ball off the right-handed hitter's bat has a tendency to slice a little bit. And the toughest play, they always say, is right over your head. And that's what it looked like for George Springer. But again, playing the ricochet off the wall, how about backing up your fellow outfielder, Jake Marisnick, seeing that George was going to go out and try and make that play. He went over there and backed him up just in case, and it paid off.
Jake, one of the elite defenders in the game, doesn't get a chance to play enough to be amongst the leaders in outs above average, but everybody that watches him play center knows how special he is.
Puts himself in a good position after the ricochet to make a good strong throw with no wasted motion.
And hitting the cutoff man, as you said, one of the keys. Here's Pinder with a count of 1-1. Takes that angle. Gets it right back into second base.
And George definitely has the mentality that he can go out and catch anything.
One and two. Jake last year, outs above average, was a solid 6.
Oh, man.
And that's with limited playing time.
Very limited. The year before, in 2016, he was in the top 10 at a plus 14.
Strikeout number 12. Garrett Cole gets Pinder for the second out of the inning. And matches the second highest total of his career. A.J. Hinch out of the dugout.
What part of the zone is he attacking? And right after it at the top again.
Oh, the Jonathan Lucroy due up. Garrett Cole getting a big hand from the crowd on his way out. All-Star. Slidell, Louisiana. That's where he played his baseball, claimed off waivers in the 2016 All-Star. Guy on the mound, Will Harris.
Another one of those great waiver claims by Jeff Luhnow. Will Harris has been a fine addition to that bullpen for the Houston Astros. Has that natural cut to his fastball, 92 to 94 miles an hour, and also has one of the more traditional 12-6 breaking balls. He's got a tough matchup here in Jonathan Lucroy.
Lucroy was one guy that was having success against Garrett Cole. I think Cole at 100 pitches probably could have gone deeper with pitch count, but the matchup wasn't very good for Garrett.
Yeah, Lucroy's had some good swings, a couple of knocks against Garrett Cole in a 3-2 game. You have that bullpen fresh and saved out there. Use them.
Lucroy had been on base 7 consecutive times against Garrett Cole, including today 2 for 2. Harris with a count of 1-1. Piscotty on second base in a 3-2 game with 2 outs in the 7th. Cole had gone exactly 7 innings in each of his 5 previous starts with the Astros. Today, 6 2/3. Will misses. It's 2-1. Now the count's 2-2. Last 2 at bats for Lucroy have been strikeouts against Will. 12th appearance for Harris, leads the team in that category. Ball in the center field. That'll be a hit. Jake Merznick charges and he slips, and that'll allow the run to score. Jake trying to hustle to get in position to make a throw, ended up slipping. And that means we are tied at 3 on the RBI by Lucroy, who is 3 for 3 today.
That's something you really can't take into account is what the turf is going to do, but a pretty aggressive approach by Jake. It's actually a phenomenal job of keeping that ball in his glove and not getting past him as he's going down. Lucroy is having himself a heck of a day, though.
Well, that's a frustrating no decision for Garrett Cole. Second run comes across on a bad hop single, and third run comes across after he's out of the game. And here's Matt Joyce. Joyce takes a pitch down low, 1-0. Final line on Cole with that run scoring 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, and a dozen strikeouts. Striking out 12 for the 3rd time in his career, 14 his career high set earlier this season. 1-1 the count to Joyce. Joyce struck out twice against Cole. Curveball just missed, 2-2.
That's that upper portion of the zone that we've seen kind of hit or miss. Still on that upper edge, you're not going to see a tendency to see those called too often. You're going to need that entire baseball within that frame.
Joyce staying alive at 2-2.
Good battle going on. Joyce is a veteran AB.
Six starts for Cole as an Astro, and he ends up with 3 no decisions. The no decision today, 2-1 in those 6 starts. You could make a case that he could easily be 6-0. Today, the most runs he's allowed in any of his 6 starts. Correa in the shift takes it from Marwood and makes the play, getting Joyce for the final out. But the A's tie it up. Jonathan Lucroy with a 2-out single to make it a 3-3 game as we head to the 7th inning stretch here at Minute Maid Park. We will keep things right here and allow you to enjoy with us a rendition of God Bless America.
As we pause not only to honor our great nation, but to salute those who defend our freedom around the world each and every day. Please join Jem Sikorsky for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
SW Fan NTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. North Texas, April is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big.
Time's running out on North Texas. One more day left in the month. April is your month and has been your month, but time is running down as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Trevor Cahill still in there for the Oakland A's, facing Alex Bregman for the 3rd time. New ball game tied at 3 as the A's have scratched out runs in the 6th and the 7th inning against Garrett Cole. It'll be Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, and Max Stassi. Called strike, 0-1. Garrett Cole ended up the month with 61 strikeouts. Not only is that leading Major League Baseball, it's a new Astros record for the month of April.
Wow.
And as I said last inning, he could easily be 6-0 right now instead of 2-1 with 3 no decisions.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Today was just one of those days. Got a bad hot base hit. Had an inherited runner score.
Well, that's the frustrating part. You get that ground ball you're looking for, and it takes a bad hop, and it just, you know, extra pitches are tacked on. He's got to fight his way out of an inning or 2.
Yeah, easily could have gotten through 7, you would think, without that bad hop. Ended up hitting the next batter, and as you said, that tacks on extra pitches. 3-1 the count to Alex. It's up to the bullpen for the Astros now, but the Astros still facing the A starter, Trevor Cahill, who is now up to 80 pitches. And that's a called strike, and the count's full. Alex has struck out a couple of times today. Chris Davinsky continues to warm up for the Astros. Ball 4. Bregman draws a walk to start the 7th.
Garrett Cole was outstanding. On our MD Anderson strike zone, these are the strikeout pitches. You can see some of them elevated, a lot of them elevated, but the velocity at 96, 97, 98, and then he has a couple of sliders down in the zone. And really, for me, a lot more velocity on those sliders than I've seen in recent starts. Getting up to 89, 90 miles an hour, 91 on that slider. But had a game plan and found some holes in the swings of Oakland Athletics and abused them.
61 strikeouts in his team's first 6 starts. Only Chris Sale and Randy Johnson have done better in baseball history. We'll have a pitching change when we come back and tell you about the new arm out of the Oakland bullpen after this. Champions Commemorative Brick Program. You can enjoy new brick sizes, placement down Champions Walkway, and the option to include the Astros World Champions logo with a personal message on it. Visit astros.com/bricks for more info. New pitcher for the A's is the right-hander Yusmeiro Petit.
The veteran Yusmeiro Petit, been around the league, working out of the starting role and out of the bullpen for some teams. 12 games this season already he's appeared in, throwing 14 in the third innings. His whip is great at under 1. A lot of the reason is he hasn't walked anybody yet.
Bregman was the only walk issued by Trevor Cahill today. He's a leadoff runner as Petit entered the game, with Cahill leaving after one batter into the 7th. Petit was on the bereavement list earlier this week. Left the team on Monday, came back on Friday. His mother Rubia passed away and was away from the team for 3 days. Pitch misses to Marwin. Marwin reached on an infield single his first time up. He bunted for a hit. And then he also bounced back to the pitcher Cahill. He's 1 for 2. Petit with the Angels last year, with the Washington Nationals the year before. Giants from 2012 through 15. He's down in the count, 2-0 on Marwin. Catches a little bit of the corner. It's 2-1. Marwin with multiple RBI games in 5 of his last 9 starts. Up to 15 RBIs on the year, 13 as a left-hand hitter. Slipped a little bit on his way back to the bag. Long look in from Petit. Marwin gets tired of waiting. Alex 2 for 4 this year in the stolen base department. Strike of the knees, 2-2. Has faced the Astros a dozen times in his career, twice as a starter, and the other 10 out of the bullpen. Now the count's full. What will the Astros do here? Marwin at the plate, Alex on first. Full count, nobody out.
I'm putting him on the move. I know there's nobody out in the inning. I just like the way that Marwin has been swinging the bat recently. Alex's wheels. Tie ball game. You also move that defense around a little bit and stay out of that double play.
Alex is on the move, swing and a miss. Lucroy's throw bounces into center field. Bregman's going to head to third base. There you go. On the strikeout, the Astros get a runner to third with 1 out in the 7th.
Just create action. We know that the Astros in the past have forced the Oakland A's to play defense. Marwin chasing out of the zone on that pitch. but really forcing LaCroix to put a little extra on that throw to try and get the strike him out, throw him out, double play. It did not work, and Simeon unable to get that ball, keep that ball in front. As soon as it gets past him, Bregman had every intention of getting to third.
Yeah, it's a good point. As an infielder, Blummer, you're almost wanting to try and forget about getting the out at second and keeping that ball in the infield.
Yeah, as soon as you recognize that that throw is going to be offline, you need to make it a precedent to keep that ball in front of you, keep that runner at second base, because now it turns into a situation where it's so much easier to score from 90 feet away as opposed to 180.
The error charge to Lucroy, allowing Bregman to get to third. The infield will come in with this meeting on the mound, and the Astros are going to go to a pinch hitter. Brian McCann will hit for Max Stassi. McCann has faced Petit 9 times. He's 1 for 9 with a double. Popped up. Shallow right center field. The infield was in. Who wants it? It's Simeon who drops it. Alex Bregman trying to score, and he is safe. Astros take the lead.
Wow. Poor Marcus Simeon's got to feel like he's on an island out there. Great slide by Alex Bregman, making sure he gets that left foot down. Infield in. Marcus Simeon came all the way from shortstop. The only thing I could think of is that Marcus Simeon may have had a better angle coming from that side, because Jed Lowry turned around and all of a sudden became Willie Mays and wasn't able to get there.
Now Jake rips one to left field. Joyce watches it go off the wall. Brian McCann heading to third. He's being waved around. The relay throw by Simeon. Safe! RBI double for Jake. It's 5-3.
Jake raked that ball into left field. Kicking around in that corner over by the Crawford box. Brian McCann. Laser off the bat of Jake Marisnick into that funky corner. Matt Joyce does the best he can to go in there and corral that. Throw beats Brian, but how about the move to the inside of the diamond and the slide?
McCann reads it well off the bat, sees it's going to pinball around in left field, and he sees the go-home wave around sign by Gary Pettis, and he chugs in to score the 5th run. A big smile on AJ's face and the rest of the dugout watching McCann come all the way around from first.
How about George telling him which way to slide? George giving the signals, get to the inside. Very nicely done. Playing some great team baseball right now, the Houston Astros. You think George was on deck anticipating that he'd have to wave Brian McCann in?
I doubt it. 5-3 game pitching change. More after this. Offensively hurting the A's in this 7th inning. The Astros taking advantage, leading 5-3. Still 1 out in the inning. George Springer, the batter. Ryan Dole, the new pitcher for Oakland.
Still trying to recover from that play. Ryan Dole in 4 games this season has thrown 4 1/3 innings. His whip is very good at a .69. 17 career games against Houston, and he's got a .9 ERA.
Good to see Jake swinging the bat a little bit the last few games. RBI double to the wall and left. He's in scoring position with 1 out. Now a pickoff attempt, and this ball's thrown away. 3rd error of the inning for the A's. Jake gets to 3rd base with 1 out.
Trying to create outs with the pickoff is creating issues.
LaCroix threw 1 into center field. Simeon dropped a pop-up, and now Dull throws 1 into center field.
That was the daylight play and just an errant throw from Ryan Dole.
Now the infield has to come in with George batting. Big swing and a foul ball.
George Springer on that base hit to left. It's brought to you by our StatCast machine out there. 110 miles an hour off the bat. Low launch angle. This is the big one. That is a very good launch angle at 24 degrees. It's still mashed. It got out of here in a hurry in a deep part of this ballpark at Minute Maid at 109.4 miles an hour.
Counts 1-2. Jake with good speed on 3rd base. You would anticipate the contact play will be on with Jake's speed, which means even on a ground ball, Jake will be trying to force the infield to make a throw home. Well, McCann's not last anymore. Nelson Cruz.
Wow.
He moved around those bases pretty well to score that run.
Start calling it the McCann roll.
Well, George looking for his first hit ever against Ryan Dull, 0 for 10, including grounding out against him here on Friday night. Dull could be tough on righties with that slider with 2 strikes. Four errors in the game for Oakland, 3 in this inning. Up high, 2-2. In addition to the 3 errors, looked like the A's had a chance to get McCann. It would have taken a perfect relay throw, but a little bit of plate given up on the inside allowed Brian to slide in safely. Rotated a little bit towards the 3rd base side. Inside, 3-2. George has worked the count back to full after being down 1-2. Springer already with 2 RBIs today, an RBI single and a solo home run. Ball 4, draws the walk. 1st and 3rd, still 1 out in the inning.
Brian McCann, we StatCasted him. People were asking about it. That was a bullet to left off the bat of Jake Marisnick. Rattled around. How about Brian McCann? 12.39 seconds from first to home. Sprint speed at almost 24 feet per second. Much to the delight of Astro fans and George Springer.
It's a good number for B-Man. Nicely done.
He was feeling it.
Here's Jose Altuve. First and third, one out. Infield now back. And that's a base hit into left field. 6-3 Astros. Altuve continues to hit well with runners in scoring position. RBI number 14 and 15 in today's game for Altuve.
I like that these Astro hitters in the last couple days have been aggressive in the zone. Not as passive as we've seen early in the season. Trying to get those swings within the zone as far as a percentage up, and they're doing a great job of getting the barrel to it and finding some holes out there on the offensive side, scoring some runs.
Here's Carlos Correa looking to extend a hitting streak. Correa 0 for 3. Had the major league's highest number of consecutive games with a hitting streak of 12 coming into today. Batting .419 during that stretch. McCann could maintain that 23.6 all year. That'll move him up 15 spots from where he is. Just need to get him with Jake Marisnick chasing him more often.
The threat behind him.
1-1 the count. We had Derek Fisher chase him earlier this year on a triple. Towards third, Chapman, nice short hop to second for 1, and they're able to turn 2 on Correa to end the inning. But a 3-run 7th, giving the Astros a 6-3 lead.
It was all on the wheels of Brian McCann. Some good coaching from George Springer.
Thanks for voting. Thanks for following at ATT Sportsnet SW. What's the most important quality an outfielder can have was today's question, and 45% are going with a great first step, with speed coming in second with 31%. Guys?
Yeah, hard to argue with those two. That's a good chance you're going to run down some fly balls in the outfield with a great first step or with speed as Debo Kristovinsky takes over.
Yeah, that first step really speaks to some of the instinctual aspects that are involved out there in the outfield. to see Devo out there. 11 games this season. Excellent numbers again. 12 punch outs to 2 walks.
Marcus Semien, Jed Lowry, Chris Davis, 2, 3, and 4. And that ball struck well to left field, and Josh Reddick watches it bounce towards the wall. Semien into second base with a leadoff double for the A's in this 3-run game.
There's a changeup from Devo. That one hung up on the middle third, or inner third. Semien had plenty of time to see that and adjust.
Ryan McCann, after running the bases, stays in the game, takes over behind the plate. Here's Jed Lowry. Lowry grounds one towards Yuli. Yuli takes it himself for out number 1. On the play, Semien moves to third.
Talking about defense today, and Zach Beal tweeted in, which MLB ballpark is the hardest for an outfielder? That's a very good question, because there's a lot out there. Fenway has the Green Monster. Here at Minute Maid Park, you've got some of the twists and turns out there. And is it easier or harder to play outfield on turf? I think what makes turf hard, even for infielders as well as outfielders, is trying to find angles, because the ball picks up speed, I feel like, on some of the turf. At least when I was playing, it was more that the shorter indoor-outdoor type turf with on harder surfaces. Nowadays, it's a little more grass-like, so it slows that baseball down on some ballparks.
I agree. I think the new field turf, Blummer, that you talk about also prevents balls from bouncing over outfielders' heads, which used to be fairly prevalent.
Yeah.
Back when the turf was a little springier. That is a word. Chris Davis is the batter.
It is now.
Davis batting with a runner on third and 1 out. George in between pitches, taking it easy after that last inning. It was a long inning, almost a half an hour. Bottom half of the 7th inning. 23 minutes long. 2-1 the count to Davis. Davis struck out and flied out to right. Missed the changeup. 2-2.
Big swing from Chris Davis on a changeup up. Might have gotten away with one right there.
I think we found a little bit of kryptonite, because Devo has struck out Chris Davis 6 times in 9 at-bats. So he might have a little issue with that changeup in his career. That time he misses the fastball. Foul tip caught by McCann. Davis now 0 for 10 in this series and 0 for 10 in his career against Devo with 7 strikeouts.
Got another one from Chase. Since we're on the outfield defense topic today, could you explain to those who have never played outfield how the ball slices to all fields off the bat and how it impacts the defender's path to the ball? I think we're seeing a little bit of it with George out there in right field. There's a right-handed hitter going to the opposite field, and that's where you see most of the slicing action, is to the opposite field of the hitter, because usually that inside-out swing creates a side spin going towards the foul lines. And that's where the issue kind of occurs. And if you get a bad jump or a bad read, sometimes that ball almost feels like it just keeps running away from you, and you're chasing it the entire time.
To that point, you know, Josh Reddick, who played with the A's for all those years, played almost exclusively in right field with Oakland. And then last year with the Astros, asked to move from right to left a little bit. He said it wasn't as easy because every angle is different when you switch sides.
And reading the ball off the bat, you're not used to it, can create some issues. That's why you've got to appreciate guys like Josh Reddick and Marwin Gonzalez, an infielder moving to the outfield. That's not an easy transition either.
And I think just watching Josh, that first step is a lot better this year in left field. He's a little more sure of himself. Minute Maid Park's a whole different beast because there's not as much ground to cover.
So true.
Because of the ball jutting out. But Reddick has looked much more comfortable out there. And of course, Marwin, whenever he plays anywhere, seems to be doing a good job. 2-2 the count to Matt Olson. Here's Davinsky trying to keep this at a 6-3 game. We are in the 8th. Semien on third base with 2 outs. Check that. The count is 3-1, not 2-2. Now the count's 3-2. Olsen struck out 3 times against Garrett Cole. Cole ended up with 12 strikeouts today. Right, Peacock warming up in the Astros bullpen. On the ground, in the shift, Marwin down to a knee to make sure he corrals it. Retires Olsen for the final out of the inning. Leadoff double is stranded. We head to the bottom of the 8th, still 6-3.
Eighth inning, and we have got some league leaders. They're going to be presented to you by Houston Methodist. Runs this season for the Astros, creeping up that board with a big game yesterday, scoring 11 runs, now 6 today at 145 runs, creeping up on the Braves, Red Sox, and Yankees. I think we all expected the Yankees and Red Sox, but the Braves out to a strong start.
Yeah, now they have their stud up from the minor leagues, Ronald Acuna Jr.
He'll add some more pop.
Santiago Casilla takes over for the A's, bottom half of the 8th inning.
Saw Santiago in the first game of this series. Now making his 8th appearance.
He'll face Yuli Gurriel, Josh Reddick, Alex Bregman. And Yuli swings the first pitch and bounces one to Matt Chapman. Chapman's throw is scooped on the other side by Matt Olson. And Yuli now 1 for 4 on the day. I'll bring up Josh Reddick. Reddick has flied to center a couple of times and bounced back to the pitcher. With the Astros' 11-0 win in last night's game, they also jumped to the top of the leaderboard in run differential. Two teams in the American League with better records, the Red Sox and the Yankees, by percentage points, but the Astros with the best run differential coming into today. Astros passing the Red Sox with that 11-0 win. The Red Sox won a game today 4-3, but they had dropped their first 2 games over the weekend to the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees at third with a +46. There's a called strike. With the Red Sox winning today, that snapped an 8-game winning streak for Tampa Bay. Now the Yankees with the longest streak at 8 games. And they play tonight. It's going to be a late arrival for the Yankees coming off of Sunday Night Baseball on the West Coast.
Really is.
Astros don't mind.
No. Tack another couple hours on there for them.
The Astros had the same thing, a little bit different in that they had to head west, but after a Sunday night game and played the next day in Seattle.
Land catch some of that early morning Monday traffic coming into the city. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, if the Yankees and Angels play extra innings tonight, nobody will be disappointed on this side. 3-2, and Reddick draws himself a walk. Every Tuesday night home game is Dollar Dog Night, presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. Enjoy all the Dollar Dog hot dogs you can eat this Tuesday when the Astros take on the Yankees. For your ticket to Dollar Dog Night, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Pitching matchup for this Tuesday's Dollar Dog Night will be Justin Verlander versus Jordan Montgomery. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a called strike. Alex scored the go-ahead run for the Astros, part of that 3-run 7th. Reached on a walk. Was running on a 3-2 pitch as Marwin Gonzalez struck out. Stole the base, throw went into center field. And then Alex would score on a drop pop-up with the infield in. So running with 3-2 and nobody out in that inning ended up setting the rest of the inning up. There goes Reddick, pitches inside and it hits Bregman. Catches him just on the jersey. It'll be first and second as Bregman reaches base.
That is a beautiful hit by pitch. No harm done except to a couple of seams on that jersey, which is nice. Couple of base runners on now.
So here's Marwin Gonzalez. Astros trying to tack on and extend their lead, which is currently a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. In that deciding 7th inning where the Ace tied it up with a run in the top half and the Astros came back with 3 in the bottom half of the inning. The A's committed 3 errors in that 7th and have now committed 21 on the season to the Astros 8.
Woo. So on our defensive instruction Sunday, it's what to do and what not to do.
Errors by pitcher, catcher, and shortstop in that 7th inning. There's a ball into right center field for a base hit. Coming around third is Reddick. He will score. 7-3 Astros on the RBI by Marwin Gonzalez.
Man, Marwin got down on his legs to go down and get that pitch. That was beautiful. Marwin loves him some fastballs. He also loves hitting with guys on base. Drove in 90 last year. He's been racking up the RBIs here in recent days. The lower half of Marwin, that soft front side, he really got on his legs to get down and get this pitch and launch it over the second baseman's head. It was beautifully done. And oh yeah, by the way, both base runners on the base paths gained 180 feet. So Alex Bregman, following Josh Reddick around, went first to third.
Marwin moving up in the RBI department, up to 16 now. And here's Brian McCann. McCann had a pinch hit last inning where he popped the ball into shallow right center that was dropped. This one driven much deeper. Bregman will tag up on the fly ball to right. And he will score easily. Sacrifice fly for Brian McCann. It's now an 8-3 game.
Watch every out-of-market Astros game all season long live on your favorite supported devices with MLB.tv. Blackout and restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
thought he had the day off. Instead, he gets 2 plate appearances. Reaches on an error, scores from first on a double, and then knocks in a run on a sac fly. Nice couple of innings of work for BMAC. Now it's 8-3. Ken Giles had been warming earlier in this inning when it was a save situation. Now we have double barrel action with Joe Smith alongside Ken Giles. Giles is just going through the motions now. Not sure if he'll be needed in a 5-run game at this point. Jake with a couple of runs scored today, reached on a catcher's interference, struck out and doubled. His double scored McCann from first, and then he came around to score on the base hit by Jose Altuve. Casilla ahead of Jake 0-2. That'll do it for the 8th, but the Astros tack on 2 more. It's an 8-3 lead heading into the 9th. Toyota. Let's go places. Astros head to the 9th inning, trying to close out an 8-3 game and try and take 2 out of 3 from the Oakland A's after dropping the opener Friday 8-1. Coming back with an 11-0 win last night and up 5 tonight heading in to the 5th. Joe Smith takes over.
Joe Smith trying to find that groove here in an Astros uniform. And we've seen some good outings. We've seen some rough outings. 6 earned runs allowed in his last 2 appearances. A.J. Hinch giving him an opportunity to get through this 9th inning. A couple of right-handed hitters coming up. He has a good sinking riding fastball in the inside corner. Good run with that sidearm submarine delivery. Also has a bit of a frisbee slider.
Facing Matt Chapman, who takes a called strike. Chapman, Steven Piscotty, and Chad Pinder due up for the A's. Smith faced Chapman on Friday and got him to ground out. Garrett Cole started this game, went 6 2/3, ended up striking out 12. Unfortunate to get a no decision as he left the game with a 3-2 lead, but the tying run came across. The Astros put up 3 in the bottom half of the 7th and then added 2 more in the 8th. Trying to win their first home series since taking 2 out of 3 against the Padres. and trying to even up this homestand at 3 games apiece, with the Yankees coming into town for 4 beginning tomorrow. Up and away, 3-2 to Chapman. Correa backhand smoothly, and the strong throw to get Chapman for the first out.
2018 Astros Buddies memberships presented by BBVA Compass are available for kids 12 and under. Buddies receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for only $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today.
Here's Stephen Piscotty. Not only was the last home series victory for the Astros that Padres series, the 6th through the 8th, it was also the last time a position player for the Astros made an error. In this game, where the A's made 4 errors, including 3 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Astros position players have not made an error since April 8th. That is 18 games plus 8 in the 3rd innings today. It's been solid defense from everybody.
That's impressive.
Just 1 error in those games, and that was by a pitcher. Counts 2-1 on Piscotty. That's a strike called. Smith had a 3-2 count on Chapman before he got him to ground 1 towards the hole that Correa made a nice play on. The Astros pitchers all series long have been doing a good job throwing strikes. Smith gets Piscotty swinging for a strikeout, 2 away in the 9th.
How good have they been, Todd?
Glad you asked, Plummer.
I'm here for you.
Just 1 walk in 3 games.
1 walk in 3 games. We've talked about how the A's are very good on the road, putting up good numbers offensively coming into this series as far as April is concerned.
Just 1 walk and none by a starter. Keuchel went 7 innings, no walks. Lance yesterday, 7 innings, no walks. Today, Garrett Cole, 6 2/3 without a walk. Chad Pinder with an 0-1 count. A little bit inside, it's 1-1. A's will stay on the road after this. They played 3 with the Rangers, 3 here in Houston, then they'll head to Seattle, taking on 3 AL West teams in this 9-game, 11-day road trip. Ball is hit to left field and hit pretty well. Josh Reddick all the way back. He is looking up, and this ball is gone. That is a home run for Chad Pinder, his 2nd of the series and his 3rd of the season. Pinder, who spent some time on the DL earlier this year with the A's, scoring 2 runs today. It's now an 8-4 game.
Pinder had a home run in that first game of the series also. He swung the bat decently. Didn't start yesterday. He came in the ball game. Took a down and in pitch from Smith and launched it.
Here's a guy who's had some success today. Jonathan Lucroy, double, single, and single, knocked in a couple of runs. He was the only guy that had consistently solid at bats against Garrett Cole. Second home run allowed by Joe Smith this season. 1-1 the count. Yankees are rolling right now on this 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, a lot of it revolves around that guy that was first on the screen. Didi Gregorius has been tearing the cover off the baseball. Stanton, the addition, high power, high strikeout. Aaron Judge off to an electric start with that .330 average also.
2-1 the count.
It'll be fun to see good hitters who have the potential to strike out facing this Astros rotation.
CC Sabathia pitching today, so the Astros will not see him. They will get the other 4 in the Yankees rotation. Pitching matchups, pretty good ones all the way across.
It's going to be awesome.
3 night games followed by an afternoon contest on Thursday. There's a ball towards Correa. This should be the ball game. Carlos' throw is up high, and Gurriel comes down with it for the final out of the game, and that'll do it. Astros take the series, winning 2 out of 3 after losing the opener Friday. Back-to-back victories, and the fortnight jubilation dance as the outfielders come on in after this 8-4 win. Good to see the combination. I know Cole ends up with a no decision, but he continues to pitch well. And then the offense coming alive late in this game to win it 8-4.
Yeah, just continue to go out there doing what you're doing. Keep pitching, keep grinding, go out to get those knocks. It's good to see the offense back up 11 runs with 8 more today.
So the Astros now 3-3 on this homestand, and they will maintain their status as the first place team in the AL West, now leading by 2 games over the Angels. Los Angeles having a game later on tonight against the New York Yankees from Anaheim, as Joe Smith picks up the final 3 outs to preserve this win for the Astros, 8-4. We're going to hear from Jake Marisnick, who is putting on a headset for us downstairs. Julian Morales getting ready for the post-game show. Jake, Todd Callis, and Jeff Blum, first of all, congratulations. That was another good team win. Seems like you guys are getting production up and down the lineup the last couple of games.
Yeah, you know, Garrett went out, did his thing early, and then the offense kind of came alive there at the end, and we were able to pull this one out.
Who's going to win in a foot race, you or Brian McCann?
Oh, McCann was flying. I told him I've never seen him run that fast before, so that was good to get that extra insurance run right there.
Jake, for you, a nice RBI double with McCann scoring from first on that ball. Do you feel like your swings have been better the last few games?
Yeah, it's coming around, you know. I was just telling Hudge right before that my swing was feeling good. The bat before didn't get the result I wanted, but came out and put a good swing on that last one. So something to build off here going forward.
How do you stay alert in the outfield when you're watching guys like Garrett Cole go out there and punch out 12 guys a game?
That's what I was talking to some of the guys about. That's how I take my frustration out of I'm not swinging the bat well, and I go out there and I stand out there for 9 innings, so and get 1 ball hit to me. So it's awesome playing behind these guys.
Yeah, especially the new guy. I know you guys saw Justin last year for a month plus the postseason, but watching Garrett Cole, has he been even better than advertised from what you've seen?
Oh, he's been. I mean, we heard nothing but good things about him coming in, and there's some rumblings amongst the team that he was going to have a big year, and he's coming out and he's taking care of business right now. And like I said, it gets a little boring out there in center, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the pitching's been great. The last 2 games, you guys have racked up 19 runs. Give us an idea of what that means going into a 4-game series with the Yankees coming into town.
What was that? What was the first part?
You guys scored 19 runs in the last 2 games to win this series. How does that momentum carry over when you know the Yankees are coming into town for 4?
Yeah, I mean, kind of getting rolling, and there's a good team coming in. So, I mean, we just got to keep this momentum going, keep the pitching going, and keep these bats alive.
All right, Jake, enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thanks for joining us.
Really appreciate it, Jake.
Yep. All right, Jake Marisnick joining us after this one as the Astros win 8-4 to take 2 out of 3 against the Oakland Athletics. There's Brian McCann scoring on the Jake Marisnick RBI double as part of that 8-4 win. We will have more, including the post-game show, right around the corner.